Hey, welcome back to this interesting tutorial on a project on a JavaScript simple mini project, and this is about how to build a movie search app in HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, so I begin with the HTML code in this part, whereby you have the standard HTML framework, body, HTML, the HTML tag and then the body tag, open and close, which we've already done several times. Basically, we are making the framework for making the movie search app here. So you don't need much here. You need a header here, and you need a title there, and you need a placeholder. So that's the main framework for the app, for this app. Okay, and then let's give some class or IDs in order to save that and use that for our styling CSS. Okay, now first and foremost you need the anchor link, so the open and close anchor tag, and inside the header, of course. So anchor tag open, anchor tag close, which we already done several times. Then what you want to place inside the open anchor tag, in between the open and close anchor tag, you want to write something there. So let's write something like movie search app, or movie search, or just movies, anything that you want to write over here inside as a header part, as a header text, you can write there. And then you write the link for the anchor tag, the usual your href link, and here you want to make it clickable, so you just leave it as a tag, hashtag. So href within inverse, open and close inverse, if you write this hashtag, you know that it means, it stands for a clickable link. Okay, then inside the header, forgot to mention that earlier, you need a h1 tag to write the heading or the title. So we write something like movie search app, or whatever you want to write here. You can write that in between the open and closed h1, which is the tag for writing headings. That one is the largest in the text, right? So h1. So that is for your heading. Okay. And then you also need to do the form, remember. Now, because this is like a search and you have to fill in some information, so you make the form. So you make the open and close form tag, and inside the form, you have to give it an ID of form so that you can use this in your CSS later, and in your JavaScript also you'll be needing the ID. Okay. Then what do you normally have inside the form? Obviously the input tag is very important, because this is based on what the user will be inputting or typing or feeding inside the input box. Okay, so this will be like, as usual, the type will be text, because you are going to write some text over there, like popular movies or whatever. Then ID, the ID we make it search, because it's about a movie search app. So let's give it an ID of search, so that we know that this form is all about searching. So ID is search, and you also need a placeholder, remember, in a form, where you can write something, where you can input something, and placeholder is of course search, so that the user knows that this placeholder is for writing the search tags or the search keywords. Then come out of the header. Now you need the main part of the body also, right? So main, the open and close main tags, where all the pictures, the image path and all that, the posters or whatever will appear over there with the title and description. So main also, you give it an ID of main, so that this will come in useful for your styling part and also your JavaScript part. That's it. And then let's save it and see how it looks like. Very simple. Movie search. Okay. So that's the HTML part. Then moving ahead, so now nothing is happening here, no action is taking place because it's a simple HTML file. Now you need to style that. In the next part we'll be styling it, and after that we'll be doing the JavaScript part. But mind you, this part, this is just about JavaScript only, not React. I'll be doing the Hi, this is the styling part of the movie search app. Now I'll be going a bit fast, not going too much deeper into this, because this app and this tutorial is more about JavaScript and not about CSS. So as usual, we clear the margin and padding by using this code and box sizing border box. Now we do a bit of styling, like we do the display for flex. It's much easier. Flex direction is column. You know already why here, because it's going here vertically, and flex wrap we keep as wrap to keep the whole thing wrapped up very in a very decent way, clean way. Okay, we have a header here, nothing much. It's 100% width, and the height is 50px. Again, it's your choice what you want to do. You can give a color to the background, but I'm giving it as white. Display flex and justify content. Obviously, it's a flex start, and you know what happens when it's flex start means so the items will go in that order, yeah, from where it starts, and it gets justified until the last item. Border bottom is 2px solid black. Header, then give some bit of styling to the header. Margin color, I give it a color of black, that is the letters will be colored black because the background is white. Then you have to give the anchor link, right, for the header. So the text decoration none, this will remove all the dashes and the underlines and all that from the link. Then the header, you need a form, right, for the search. So we give a width of 250px. Again, it's your choice. You can even adjust it a bit. I think you can make it 200px if you like, because mine is a bit wider. Align items to the center, looks nicer, and we give a display of flex. And then you there's an ID, if you remember, in the form of search. So in the input, that is, so the search ID, hashtag search, width is 250px, height is 30px, border, again it's up to you. This is very simple basics of what you already learned in styling. So if there's something you don't understand, you can write it in the comment section, and I'll fill that for you. And I also try to write that in the description, so that you can read my description well. Okay, then in the main part of the body, you have the width, display, flex, wrap. This is the standard stuff that you do for the section main. Yeah. I'm doing with 100% so that it gives very wide view of the angle. Okay, then you have the main div, again width 250px, height 250px, and margin 19px. Yeah. The next section will be about JavaScript, so keep tuned because that's the most important part. And then in the next video after this, I'll be also making the same tutorial in React as well as Python. The same tutorial, so it's easier for you to understand programming if you do the same project in different languages. Okay, so most of the things, these are the main things. If you want more styling, you can do that later. And now we've seen that there's a header, there's a main body section where all the details and descriptions of the movies are going to come, and then there's a search form with a field where you can search for the movie. Yeah, and that's it. We continue into the next part where we will show the output of this, and also in order to do this movie search app, there's a lot of work that involves getting the API, the image links, the movie search links, and so on and so forth. So many links that you have to get and show in our tutorial. So we need a movie database, right? So for that we'll be using the TMDb API, which is the movie database.org. So that's in short TMB. So we'll be using that API. So I'm just showing a quick tutorial on how you can get hold of it. So first thing foremost, the moviedb.org, get into that site, the official site. Then if you don't have an account already, just sign up. It's very simple. Just sign up with your email and password. After that, this is what you get. Like, I've already signed up, and they'll give you the steps of how to sign up. It's just giving your email and password, and once you do that, you will go to your developer section, developer.moviedb.org. Over there you will find this section called API, and there you will have all the links of your image, of your the API, the key, and other such things. Now, just you can take a look here. Just read these API terms of use, and do not forget when you're signing up to sign and agree to the API terms of use. I've already done that. Just showing you the page. It looks somewhat like this. Yeah, this is the page. So the whole page you have to just read up quickly and agree to that. Then once you agree to that, you will be creating the account, and then you can go to the API section. So go to the settings here. So I'm just showing you step by step. So you go to your settings, not the account settings, just settings. You will see this as follows, whether you want it in English or whatever. And these are the various things that you find: sessions, API, delete account. Go to the API section, API and the overview. So once you sign up for the API, you will find that application name, movie search API, the application URL, and your API, your individual API. Remember, when you're making the app, do not use someone else's. Even though we are showing the tutorial, use your own. That's more fun. Then here you will find this page, developer.movie.org, moviedb.org. This is my API key. There you are. All this I'm just showing you quickly. So in order to get the individual different get links for the image path and all that, this is account settings. This you don't need much. This is just to show only. Let's get back to the API. Here documentation is a developer.themoviedb.org. So that's the most important page. Under the API, you've already seen the API details I've shown you. Get to the developer page. So when you go to the developer page, that is where you start learning all the basics of the API. Plus, it's very easy to get the different API link from there, because you need to create a lot of variables, right? For the image path, image pathway, then for the image URL, and so on and so forth for the API URL. So for that, you need to get to this page. So this is the one. Just showing you here. Once you sign up the terms of use. I'm just kind of browsing. Here you go. Now you can see the sections, different sections. So, for example, query the API. Now you will find the request get with different examples. api.themovie.org. Here are the details. You can have the links query. You can query for favorite. You can query for trending. You can query for current session. You can query for movie list, TV list, images. So many things you can query for. That's called the API reference. So I'm just showing you different links for the query. So this is for the movie list query. They even have you can even have the query parameters for the start date, end date, pages. Now, I'm just showing you how you can query and different details, but in my, I'm not using the movie list, I'm using a different parameter, but you can use your own parameter. You can have your own query, you can have your own API referencing. Yeah, so that's the reason I'm showing you these pages, the query pages, so that you can use the different query parameters for your own tutorial. That's about the query parameters. There are some more here, like you can find based on movie, find by movie ID, then rated movies, yeah, then now playing, popular one, top rated, upcoming movies. All this, if you click on them, you'll get the get that URL for that particular query parameter, and you can even add on more querying over there. And when you fill up the query parameter and click there, as you can see here, there you go, discover movie question mark include, the whole code is written there for that particular query. So that's the fun part of it, sort by popularity and dot description. So you can just copy from there and use it for your variable. So simple as that. Now there you can see all the get requests are there. So that's the best part. Even if you are not an expert in the API referencing codes for the get links and the get URLs, yeah, you can use these get request code syntaxes and apply that to your variable. That's the beauty of it. See, here you have the image link, the image pathway. It's so cool, right? So that's why I'm showing this here. There you go, based on movie ID and the images. It's very cool, right? Yeah. You have even for different languages, movies, and here even for TV episode. But here it's not about TV episode, it's about movies, so I'm showing you the movies part only. Yeah. The best part is upcoming movies also you can do if you query that parameter. Now I'm doing for the images and top rated. Okay, this is for the top rated movie. It says very clearly movie / top rated, and then add on to it different query parameters. All you need to do is to just fill that and click, and you will get these. You will get that code for that there, which I'm showing you. Even you can say like vote, sort by vote average, dot description, and without genres, with genres, vote count, everything. It's so cool. So you don't need to be an expert in this, expert in coding in order to handle the API. All you need to do is to create the variables for your JavaScript function, and come here and do the query parameters and in the API referencing page, and then copy and paste that code in your function. That's it. Okay. So I'm just browsing more parameters just so that you get an idea. You can do your own stuff, and if you're not able to access this page, this developer page or this query parameter page, you can mention in the comments below, and I will send you a guide again in order to reach that. But I hope this is simple enough. All you need to do to reach the API reference page is to get into the developer page, which is already there in your API page. All you need to do is just click there, and then you'll be taken to the developer dashboard, and under the developer dashboard you'll find the API reference header. Just click over there and you will come to this API reference. It's a bit more easier when you're I'm doing this on my mobile phone, but when you do this on your laptop, it's wider, so it's easier to find the developer page and all the query parameters. Yeah, so I hope you are able to do it. And the code, the JavaScript code that I'm doing is a very simple one, no complications, very simple one, and I'm just using the simplest of query parameter, like the popular movies with description. That's it. And I'm copying the code for the parameter for popular with description, and I'm just using that with my own API key. I'm using the API key that my developer dashboard is showing under my API key, and I'm using that for the 3 different variables in which you are supposed to also mention the API key along with the code. In all of this you will find. So you're not supposed to copy someone else's API key. So I hope that's clear enough. Yeah. So I will see you in the next part where I'll be teaching you the JavaScript code for this, for the app, sorry. I'll be using these API reference links. Okay. That's it. See you in the next part. Now this is the JavaScript part of the movie search app. We've already done the HTML, the CSS, and the API referencing part also we've done. So we've collected the API references and all that. So, and the API URL. So, and now we have, what we have finished to do is a JavaScript code. Okay. So just quickly looking at the API references again to collect the URLs and the links. Yeah. And then we quickly go to our, I'm just opening the file here so that you can use those for referencing. And then we go to our JavaScript code file, and the search API, const search API, I've already done here using the API reference from the main API, the MovieDB. So that's why I'm not showing it here, because we just copy pasted using my API link, the const search API. Then and the const main. So I created another constant main because that is document.getElementById main. Remember, we had a main in the HTML section with an ID of main. Then const form also we had an ID of form, so document.getElementById form. Search also was there in the HTML, so document.getElementById search. So this is a pure JavaScript. And what else you need is a function. So you need a function for this app. So function, what you need to show the movies API URL, right? Okay, so const API URL also you got from the get function, from the get function API referencing code in the MovieDB. Okay, so fetch URL. So here you're using the fetch API code. So fetch URL. You have to fetch the URL dot then. Yeah, this is the JavaScript promises, if you remember. So dot then you get response. So response.json. And so you are using the code for the fetching the URL. And then dot then function data. So as a result of the promise, you will get the function data, where you are using the data from the moviedb.org. So console.log data.results. So data.results, you have to use the for each loop for each element. Yeah, if you remember, there's a tutorial in my video channel for each. So const element will be document.createElement div. So here the element referred to is a div. You need a div to create the app, right? A separate container. Then inside that you have an image. So const image, create that again, because it's not there creating document.createElement image. Then you need some text, right, for the heading. So const text document.createElement h2. So what is the inner HTML of the text? You have to do, you are doing the interpolating operation here, yeah, using the dollar and the backstroke here, element.title. So the title, using the interpolation, the title will be mentioned there. Then for the image source will be equal to image path plus element poster the poster path of the element. Now you already have the respective values from the API reference. So element.append child. So for that container, from you have done the parents. So to that element you have to append the child. So what it will be, to the div you have to attach the image. To the div you have to attach the text. Yeah. So all the childs you will be attaching to the parent div. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Okay, there's one more code left, so nothing is happening here. Okay, fine. Just playing around with the code to see if something else is required. So you've kind of constructed the form, you've done the fetch API referencing code. Now there's a separate tutorial for JavaScript promises in my channel, so you can go there and read. I'm not explaining the promises, JavaScript promises here. I'm just mentioning the code only. Just testing it out. Okay. This is the way when you fetch the URL, the code is going to show. Okay, so you have the different children that you've appended is image and the text and the element itself to the div. Yeah, so that means you have everything in that container which will make up for the app. So you've done that part. And as I mentioned, image source will be image path, for which you have the value from the API reference from the moviedb.org, and the image URL also you have the value from there. So last one is the form part. So you need to add an event listener, right, for submitting the form. So form.add event listener submit with the element, of course. You use the arrow function, e.prevent default. You already know why you're using that. Yeah. Then main, from the main body, what is the inner HTML? In the beginning, it's empty. Yeah, so you create, so you have a variable called search term. So the search term, const search term will be equal to obviously the search value. Whatever you write the search value, that will be your search term, whether it's popular, trending, or whatever. Then you have to do the if loop after this. So that means if there's a search term, and if the search term is true, then you will show the movies search API plus search term, right? Search API value is already given up above from the API referencing. Then search.value initiating will be with an empty string, because you haven't started searching. When you start searching, it will give the output. So let's say with the help of the name or as popular, whatever, there are different ways that you can use the search term.